All right, here's one for the AMD fanboys. We're looking at the M4A89GTD PRO motherboard from ASUS. Very cool board, very modern. This is like the last gen, latest technology. There are no SATA 2 ports on this, only SATA 3, 6 gigabit per second ports. It's kind of interesting because it is backwards compatible, so you don't really need to worry about it. But rather than just having two little extra ones like everyone else has been doing it, this one is a fully featured all SATA 6 gigabit per second board. Very, very cool. It's got 6 of them, so that's very useful. Also supports the latest 140 watt CPUs from AMD. This is an AM3 Plus socket, and that's where we'll start our review. Right over here, you'll see that we have the new socket, AM3. So again, all your latest CPUs, the Phenom 2s, the Athlon 2s, and the Sempron 100 series are going to fit in here. The hardware, as you can see, very nice hybrid technology. You do have solid state caps. Ferrite core chokes, very, very nice board hardware-wise, will overclock nicely. Over here, 4 DIMM slots, up to 16 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, 1066, 1333, and also 1866 is the fastest you can go overclocking. It is also important to know this is the 890GX North Bridge controlling the memory, and you have the SB750 South Bridge, which is actually the same South Bridge you had before, except that now it's controlling SATA 6 gigabit per second SATA port, so very cool. And that's where we'll go next, right down over here. There are 6 of them, 4 of them face up over here, and then there's 2 more on the side right there. So those are good if you have big graphics cards. You can run Crossfire X on this board. It does have 2 PCI Express X16 slots, so that's very useful. Also, while we're down here, look at this little army of USB 2.0 headers. That's an additional 8 USB 2.0 headers that you can add into this. So very, very cool if you have a lot of different USB peripherals. You want to add those add-ons to the back of the card or a front panel connector that has a lot of USBs. Absolutely perfect for people like that. You do have a couple legacy items on here, like an IDE, and over here's your 24-pin motherboard connector. Now, but what I really want to show you is right over here. You will notice there are a couple cool switches here, and one of them is kind of what this board is notorious for. It's the core unlocker. If you know, there's a couple of those AMD CPUs. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say which ones they are, but there's a few that are either dual cores or triple cores, and they kind of have cores that are not being used. Well, this turns them on. Very useful device. It's going to let you save some money, maybe get a slightly cheaper processor, and then unlock that unused core, that latent core. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. Hey, you might as well turn it on. Also kind of have like a self-overclocking feature over here. The MemOK features become very popular for people that use high-end memory. Basically, if your computer's not booting up with the memory, it doesn't have like a profile, like a high-performance profile, like an XMP for Intel. The same thing goes for AMD. If it doesn't have that profile, it's going to be hard to start up at the native settings. This is going to make sure that you're going to get in no matter what. Then you can manually go into your BIOS, adjust your settings. Very, very cool feature. Another really cool feature about this board, I'll take you to the back panel now. It does have dedicated graphics, so you are going to see that you do have a VGA, a DVI, and an HDMI port. It does have the integrated ATI Radeon HD 4290 GPU with 512 megabytes of dedicated memory, so it can basically be used without a graphics card, but it also works in conjunction with your graphics card. If you have an ATI series, they can kind of do like one of those little hybrid things. Also, it overclocks itself. They got the GPU booster from ASUS, basically overclocks the GPU that's on here. I mean, imagine they got a native ATI, vanilla integrated chipset, put it on the board, and they're overclocking it from factory. Incredible. While we're back here, I'll show you everything else. You got a PS2, 2 USB 2.0s, SPDIF, HDMI, again, multi-channel HD. That 4290 will do full 1080p. It will do multi-channel audio, no problem. DVI, VGA. 4 more USB 2.0 ports. They're kind of scattered around here. You do have a FireWire, an eSATA, 10100 1000 gigabit Ethernet, and then finally right over here you do have a 8-channel audio setup with a very nice chipset. You probably won't even need to get an audio card with this. Next, we move on to PCI Express. Like I mentioned before, this does do Crossfire X. It does have 2 PCI Express X16 going to the 890GX Northbridge chipset. That's going to actually bifurcate down to X8, X8. If you're going to run 2 GPUs in here, if you're going to run 2 graphics cards. If you're going to run 1, it's going to run at full X16. Again, 2 is going to go down to X8, X8. But because it is the 2.0 protocol, it's twice as fast. You don't lose any real bandwidth or performance. Also, PCI Express X4, PCI Express X1, and then 2 standard PCIs round out the package down here. And that's basically it. Very nice motherboard. from ASUS. I got to give them credit, and it's going to be extremely popular because it does have that core unlocker. That's a big feature that a lot of AMD fans want. You save some money on the chip. You get to spend a little more on the motherboard, the power supply, the graphics cards, etc., and then you get to unlock the core, get that extra performance. So you're getting something for nothing. It's a really cool feature, and the board's incredible. Lots of SATA 6 gigabit per second ports. You know, integrated graphics, the hybrid GPU boost. It's all good. So can't say anything bad about it. Awesome board. If you're an AMD fanboy, recommend it. If you have any questions, email me, and I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the ASUS M4A89GTD PRO Motherboard, type in A455-2938 into any major search engine.